What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and I am back with Monday's installment of Magic for the Working Class, the deck tech series where I make decks for under $100 because we all know that the price of sealed products, singles, and everything else in between is going up, and we should be able to enjoy our favorite hobby without breaking the bank. And today we're going to have a Hobbit card, Balin Loremaster. And this deck is coming in at $95.34 just because we wanted to throw a Panharmonicon in there and it's cost $10, so feel free to drop it if you don't want it. But before we get into it, if you like Magic for the Working Class, if you like my regular deck tech series, my historical commander, or anything else in between, feel free to subscribe, but only and only if you feel I've earned it. And now, without further ado, let's get straight into it, shall we? So who is Balin? Balin is Balin. He is a 4/4 for 5. And he has storied, which means it's kind of, think of the City's Blessing, but instead of 10 permanents for storied, you have to have 3 legendaries or artifacts or sagas, a combination of those. And once you have storied, you have it for the rest of the game. It's very important. So whenever Balin or another dwarf you control enters, you may discard your hand. Draw X cards, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. If you have an enduring story, Balin deals X damage to each opponent. So what we're going to want to do here, he's like a wheel commander, is we're going to want to get out a couple artifacts and at least one other legendary, and then we're going to play Balin, and then we're going to start essentially wheeling and shooting our opponents for a bunch. We have some cards to let us play some things out of our graveyard, which is always nice, and we're going to try to flicker him, make clones of him, and essentially draw through our deck and start shooting people for a ton of damage. That's the goal here. Good old Balin. And how are we going to do this today? Well, we have quite a few dwarves in our deck. But first, we have Awesome Android, also known as Containment Construct. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile a card or exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may play that card this turn. This is really good, right? If Balin enters and pitches something to the graveyard that you don't necessarily want to be gone forever, Containment Construct allows you to play that card, which is very good. But please note that it is until the end of turn, so you do have a little bit of leeway, but not too much leeway to get that card back. We have Axguard Cavalry. It's a dwarf. That's why it's in here. But it also gives taps to target creature gains haste until end of turn. We have Blazing Firesinger. It enters prepared. And it's a Seething Song. So you can help ramp out your Balin. Please note that we do want legendaries and artifacts on the field before we get Balin out, unless you have a hand full of dwarves. Bloodline Pretender. He's changeling, so he's a dwarf. As he enters, you choose a creature type, dwarf. And then whenever another creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Bloodline Pretender. So he's going to get big. We have Conspiracy Theorist. When this creature attacks, you can pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And whenever you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile one of them from your graveyard. If you do, you can cast it this turn. So kind of like a slightly less good effect of Containment Construct. We have Dory, Bearer of Friends. He's a 3/2 for 3. Trample, and when Dory enters, create a treasure token. Very simple and very straightforward, but he is a legendary dwarf at common. So we're going to need him here. Dwarven Grunt, he's a 1/1 for 1 from the block that I started playing Magic in, Odyssey. Odyssey has some cool dwarves, friends. Could not fit Dwarven Recruiter in this deck. Could not bring myself to do it. The budget was already getting high. We have Felled into the Third Path. You pay 3, create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So if you don't have any other dwarves in play, but you've discarded some, you can always bring back some of these dwarves to trigger your Balin. We have Gimli of the Glittering Caves. He's going to be your combat dwarf. Double strike, and whenever another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put a 1/1 counter on Gimli of the Glittering Caves. And whenever Gimli deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. He starts out as a 1/1, but you can make him very big very quickly. We have Gloin, dwarf emissary. Gloin was, of course, a member of Thorin's party and the father of Gimli. And Gloin has, whenever you cast a historic spell, so artifact, legendary, saga, create a treasure token. It triggers only once each turn. Treasure's always good. And then you can sack a treasure to goad target creature. Friends, I cannot tell you enough how much I love goad. Then we have Gloin the Mighty. Gloin the Mighty is an adventure spell. So you can adventure him for 3, which is easy pickings, deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. And when he's in play, he gives you double red mana at the beginning of your first main phase. He's like that one, I can't remember what the dinosaur is that adds double green to your mana pool, but there he is. Good old Gloin. We have ourselves Hawkeye, Young Avenger. Reach, if a sorcery could deal, you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent, permanent opponent controls. Instead, it deals that much damage plus X, where X is Hawkeye's power. It's 2, so dealing more damage. Humble Defector, you get to draw 2 cards and pass it around. Jaxus, the Troublemaker, discard a card, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So, you make a copy of Gloin, the trigger will go off, you discard your hand, you draw, and then you're going to get to draw for the death trigger on Gloin as well. Living Laser, whenever a Living Laser attacks for each card you've discarded this turn, create a token that's a copy of Living Laser, except the token isn't legendary. The tokens enter tapped and attacking. Exile the tokens at the beginning of the next end step. So say you've triggered Gloin like 3 times in one turn, and you end up, you had a full grip of 7. Yeah, that's 21 cards. You're going to make like 21 Living Lasers. It's a very interesting concept for a card, and I like it. At 49 cents, he had to go in. And we have Magmakin Artillerist. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, this creature deals that much damage to each opponent. Very good. When you cycle it, it pokes everybody for 1. Marauding Mako. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards, put that many 1/1 counters on this creature. Combat guy. Metallic Mimic. Choose Dwarf, obviously. This creature is the chosen type. Each other creature you control of the chosen type enters with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Pretty good. Misty Knight, hero for hire. Discard a card, draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. This can get very good as well. Rionia, Fire Dancer. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create X tokens that are copies of another target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of instant sorcery spells you've cast this turn. They gain haste, and exile them at the beginning of the next end step. So at minimum, you're doing 1. We have Rebel Rouser, who is a dwarf. When it enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And then you can tap, exile a card from your graveyard, add red. When you do this, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. 7 dwarves. I did throw 7 of them in here. You can have exactly 7 dwarves in your library. And it gets +1/+1 for each other creature named 7 dwarves you control. Solemn Simulacrum, you know what he does. He draws a card when he dies and he gets you a land. Spider-Man, new champion, reach, and whenever you discard 1 or more cards, he deals that much damage to any target, so you can shoot a creature or a player. Stormkiln Artist gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token. Tersa Light Shatter, haste, and when it enters, discard up to 2 cards, draw that many cards. Whenever it attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard, and you can play that card this turn. So one of those graveyard recursion effects that we were talking about earlier. Then, of course, Torbrand. If a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent, or a permanent opponent controls, it deals that much damage +2 instead. Sorceries. We've got ourselves Devastating Onslaught. Create X tokens that are copies of target artifact or creature you control. Those tokens gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. Electro Duplicate. It's going to be another copy. Mana Geyser. You know what this does. It adds 1 billion mana. Add 1 red for each tapped land your opponents control. Snort. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards, and it deals 5 damage to each opponent who discarded their hand this way. We have Twin Flame. This will also make a copy of a creature. And Wheel of Fate, of course, is budget Wheel of Fortune. For instance, we have Big Score. Where's the rest of it? Demand Answers. I can't remember what this is. Yes, return the favor. Copy an instant or sorcery, or or activated ability or triggered ability, so you can copy the Gloin ability. That's free, so you gotta pay the extra on top of it. Vision of Love's, of course, the filter draw, kind of like the Mana Dance. Here's some big score. We have Decaying Time Loop. Discard all the cards in your hand, draw that many cards, and you can retrace it. Chaos Warps, a little bit of removal. Raphael's Technique is a wheel effect. Fist of Flames, draw a card until end of turn. Target creature gains trample and gets +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. Artifacts. We do have our Swiftfoot Boots to protect Gloin. We do have Gold Vein Pickaxe and Diamond Pickaxe, both of which are in here because they're cheap and will get us destroyed faster, and they will net us treasure tokens, which are always good. Blade of Selves from Myriad. I know this card's not the best card in the world because of how much its equip costs, but, you know, we got to try to live the dream. We have Collector's Vault. Draw a card, then discard a card. Create a treasure token. We have Commander's Sphere for our 1-mana rock. We have Conjurer's Closet. Like I said, I put a bunch of money into this card and this card in here. And Panharmonicon, of course, double triggers. We have ourselves Wayfarer's Bauble for Land Search. Also, keep it in play if you just want to get storied first. Enchantments. Collective Inferno. Choose a creature type. Double all damage of the creature type of the chosen type. Dwarf. Count on luck. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You can play it. Power Balance. Okay, even without top, this card's really fun and good. I've blown people out of the water with this card, both in paper and in 1v1 arena. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost, if the two spells have the same mana value. And then Words of War. Next time you draw a card this turn, Words of War deals 2 damage to target creature or player instead. You can pay 1, so like you can skip any number of the draws to do that. Lands, Dwarven Mine because it poops out a dwarf, and the Lonely Mountain because it also poops out a dwarf. There you go. And then 37 mountains. That is the build. Let's go ahead and see how Moxfield's going to treat me today. All right, we got quite a few things that we can do in here. I'm going to go ahead and draw. I'm going to put down a mountain. Next turn, we're going to draw. Ooh, this is getting sketchy. I kept the 2-lander. Normally, I try to only keep 3 or more land hands, but we'll see what happens. Next turn. Oh, we are rewarded for our greed, friends. Always rewarded for our greed. We're going to play Dory, who's going to put out a treasure. And we'll say, hey, look, we found Dory. I'll be here all day for these jokes here. So we do have 4 available. I'm actually going to put down Gimli. So whenever another legendary creature enters, he gets a 1/1 counter on that. Next turn. We're a little slow. I am going to equip the Gold Vein Pickaxe to him. And... Ooh. I'm going to swing with him. We're going to say we get through somehow, and we get to add a treasure. And... I am, during the opponent's turn, going to play Vision of Love. I'm going to do this, and I am going to discard Decaying Time Loop to draw 2 cards. Oh, thank God. We drew some lands. We did it, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop this treasure. 5. We're going to play Balin. Balin enters. We are storied. So, we will discard our hand, which is 6 cards. We will then draw 6 cards. Gimli will get a counter on him. I'm going to swing with Gimli, and we're going to get a treasure. This one is the one where he has to deal combat damage, so in theory, he's getting through. All right, next turn, we draw. We're going to put down a mountain. I'm going to put down Gold Vein Pickaxe, or sorry, Diamond Pickaxe. I'm going to play... Spider-Man, new champion. I'm going to attack with Gimli. Oh, a legendary creature came in, so we get another one. We get another token, so we have 4. Now, I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to pay these 3 treasures. I'm going to play Torbrand. So we will discard these 3. When we do that, and we discard 1 or more, so we deal 3. We're going to deal 3 plus 2 because of Torbrand to any target. We're going to shoot, we're going to say the biggest threat for 5. And then we draw 3. And Balin's going to trigger, and he's going to also deal 5 damage. Pretty good. Next turn, we're going to... I'm going to put the diamond pickaxe on Gimli. Oh, yes, he also got another one of those because of, what do you call it? Torbrand. I'm going to go ahead and swing. We're going to go ahead and get 2 treasures. He is bringing in the beats, and we're doing damage on top of that, which is always good. And then we are going to pay 3. This is a dwarf. So when he enters, we choose a creature type. We're going to choose dwarf. Whenever the chosen creature type enters the battlefield, he gets a 1/1 counter. But more importantly, it's time to discard our hand. We discard 3 cards. We're going to deal 5 damage to a target, and then 5 damage to each player, and then we draw 3. And honestly, I'm going to play Gloin. Oh, I can't. I don't have enough treasures. My bad. Next turn. Now I'm going to play Gloin on my pre-combat main phase. Discard 3. We draw 3. And then swing away, Meryl. The signs reference for all of you youngins. We have 5 here. So he's also doing big damage, by the way. Oh, he got 1 for Gloin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sacrifice those 3 treasures. We're going to play Collective Inferno. We're going to choose Dwarf, obviously. Next turn, we draw. We're going to play 7 Dwarves. So we're going to discard 2. Shoot for 4. Shoot for 4 again. Well, it doubles that damage. So, okay, so... this is a dwarf source of a damage, so this will deal 4 extra, plus this, dealing 4. This one, so he'll deal 2, which deals 4, plus another 4 is 8. This will deal 2, plus another 4, which is 6, so 14 damage. And then we draw 2 cards. We have Fist of Flames, we have Dwarven Mine. And you know, of course, swing with Gimli. He gets his treasures back because he bought that. He got that Capital One card. Plus, you know, this is getting counters as well. We don't have any dwarves to put in this turn. Like we can do Dwarven Mine, which then poops out a little dwarf. Wrong dwarf, Weston. Poops out a little dwarf. There we go, a little dwarf guy. Pitching our hand. Draw 2. Like we already described. Ping, ping. Damage, damage. And since a dwarf entered, we get a counter here. And all of our stuff is legendary, so we can sacrifice a treasure to goad something. But we have all of these dudes that can do stuff. But that's kind of the gist of the deck. You play dwarves. Let's see what we can... Oh my, lots of lands were coming. That's big sad. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will be back Friday with another episode of Magic for the Working Class. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.